Hello and welcome to Never Heard It, the show where I review classic albums that I never got around to listening to. And this week I brought along a friend. Last time we talked about OC's Word Life. You should go check that out if you haven't already. He is the co-host of our show, which airs every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. on WPRK 91.5 FM. You can check that out also at knowbetterhiphop.com. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Beet Unique. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
Thanks for having me back.
Glad you're here. So we are here today to talk about Blue's debut album, Below the Heavens. So why is it you've never heard Below the Heavens?
I got into Blue late, right? So when I started helping out with the show, Conscious, the host of the show, he plays Blue anytime he gets new Blue. So I was looking, I'm like, why never I get into Blue? Like this debut album came out, what, 07? So I'm like, what came out in 07? So I looked it up. 8 Diagrams came out, Wu-Tang. Brother Ali's Undisputed Truth. Blue Scholar's Biani came out. Human the Death Dance by Sage Francis. Lupe's Cool, I'll Sleep When You're Dead. None Shall Pass. Common's Finding Forever. That's probably why I missed it. It's just one of those things. It's just like I wasn't paying attention to, which I'm sad about. I always get sad when I'm like, I missed that one. Oh, I could have had something, to really push me through. So, but that's probably why.
That album didn't have any singles or anything. Like I don't think there was even a video for it. Maybe there were videos.
I found the video deep. So Amazing.
So Amazing.
He did yeah, so he did a video for that.
Okay.
But I was trying to find what single did they even put out? Because I would have for me, I would, if I was to pick a track, for the single, I know what it would be if it commercial track. So but yeah, he didn't. I don't know if they failed him or what.
It's kind of a long story. Him and this producer named Mainframe, they put out an album called Johnston & Johnson. It came out like a year after this one. He got him a deal on his record label, Sound of Color. And about, I don't know, within a year, the label folded.
Oh.
So...
all right.
So he wasn't great at running a label, apparently. I guess that's probably...
I
probably
feel
what
like
it was. Well, let's talk about the album. So what stuck out to you?
I thought Narrow Path was solid. The second track, the hook. I think that was my favorite hook. This album is pretty decent at hooks. I think I'm not a writer, so I always assume it's very hard to write a hook. Especially if you're trying to be, you want to be commercially, know. So Soul Amazing is I don't know if Exile was trying to do I'm going to do a homage to Primo. I think everybody was doing that scratch hook thing. It sounds good, but it's like...
Yeah, he is. First of all, I think he's one of the most underrated producers, in my opinion. I think he's really underrated, but he kind of wears his influences on his sleeve. You can tell.
He's not afraid to show it.
Yeah.
There's not many tracks I disliked here. For my favorite car track, because I was trying to listen at work and my headphones and just casual listening, heavy listening, where I'm actually where I'm just, and then car, driving in my car, that's all I was listening to. So the Juicin' and Dranks is probably my favorite song to ride to. All these were good tracks, in remembrance of, is very they were trying to go for that Troy feel. I feel I don't know how many times he mentioned he was 22 on this album, but he did.
Yeah.
So and it's a common thing. He's trying to figure out.
And in Troy, doesn't Pete Rock say he's 22 years ago to keep it in track? Yeah, he's 22.
So maybe that's what I'm saying.
Maybe that was it. He was 22. maybe that was why.
Maybe that's
it. Maybe
that's true. I didn't think about that. But Dance in the Rain, I love the title. It completely just on that you can. Just in between him saying everything's kind of going there's this and there's that, but I'm still doing what I want to do and I'm doing my art, so I'm just gonna
it's raining outside, might as well dance dance in the rain.
So that's probably my favorite track. And then I didn't know Miguel was so deep.
They went to high school together, him and Blue.
Oh, okay.
They kind of grew up together, so that's why he's on this 3 times.
But First Things First, I feel is the most if I was an executive, that's probably the one I would have put out. Good. Which is your favorite song?
It's a song that you haven't mentioned yet. My favorite song, Cold Hearted. I think the writing. If you want to talk about writing, I think that's one of the most
No, no,
brilliant,
I like all the
brilliantly
tracks.
written. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's telling one story about like his father being abusive, but also a story about his friend being killed. And he's telling these stories, but he's using the same words to use the same words and phrases to say the story twice. And it just creates this cycle, which is kind of like this cycle of the violence that's going on, and also
Mhm.
the cycle of maybe him becoming like his father and being violent like his father. So it's just, I don't know, it's just like so many things that are going on this one song, and the way that it's written, it's like 3D chess. It's, I think it's brilliant.
There's not a skippable song on here, which to me
Mm,
that signifies like I could just drive on this album on
yeah.
a trip and not having the need to skip or feel I need to change the album. So I think that's all you can ask for in an album
Mm,
if you're not,
yeah.
solid all the way through. This just shows how good of an artist is because like
Mm,
I really enjoy his later stuff. Maybe that's
mm,
because I got into him later. True and Living, I think, and then they did Miles, I think, for the
mm.
for the two. I know he had other albums, and then what was the album he did?
Long Red Hot
Yeah, yeah,
Los
yeah.
Angeles
I thought
Summer
that was
Night.
great too. Like I'm just
Yeah,
this
he
is what
did.
I'm saying. Like,
Oh no, produced that one,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
So like him as just as a solo.
Some people say that he kind of destroyed his own career. That's kind of the lore of
Really?
Blue. So that first album came out and people liked it, and then that got him a record label, maybe somewhere, I can't remember, maybe it was Columbia or something. It was the East Coast, one of the big ones, and they wanted him to remake, Below the Heavens, and he
Uh-huh.
made this experimental electronic album that was probably like way too left for them. So they shelved it. And then after that happened, he just started making like super, super lo-fi albums that were
Mm-hmm.
just poorly mixed. And he just did that for years and years and years. If you're really, really paying attention, he's still lyrically there, but it's just like you can't, it doesn't sound good.
I started listening, I think, on that Red Hot Summer is when I like, oh, let me, because I was just
Mm-hmm.
listening like single tracks. And I wasn't. I think that's the
Yeah.
album where I really started to like really pay attention to
Yeah.
him. Like, oh, let me see. And to me, I
Yeah. I mean, he's still a brilliant writer. He's
I
still
like
like
it.
his
Yeah.
storytelling is still amazing. But the thing is that like now it feels like it's too little, too late. Like if he had been doing this the whole time, he'd be considered like one of the greats.
Mm,
But he
he
just
did
like
do
he
it though.
he did this 5 to 7 year period where he just released stuff that was just, I don't know, it was just poorly mixed and people didn't want to hear it.
I just hope he keeps on putting out music because I'm like I'm
Yeah.
all I'm all about it
Yeah.
now. I don't
Hmm.
know if I'm gonna go backwards. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'll go backwards. Maybe this album, but I'll just whatever he puts
Yeah.
out now, I'm pretty
But
much
here's the
that.
thing, like the lo-fi thing is kind of like I don't know, it's cool now. Like there are guys like Mike or even Earl Sweatshirt, making like
Mm-hmm.
weird lo-fi stuff. Maybe I should go back and listen to like that stuff that he was making then, because maybe it sounds good to me now. I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
it'll be like,
maybe.
oh, maybe he was ahead of his time the whole time. Maybe he was
Or,
doing this stuff like years
mm,
before everyone else. I
maybe
don't know. Or maybe it really did sound like garbage, but
there
that's
is
what
a
it
lot
sounded
of
like to me at
music
the
out there.
moment. So while we're wrapping up, is there anything that you wanna plug before we get out of here?
91.5 WPRK. You know what I mean? Every Saturday, our show plays 5 to 7. Every week. The show's been around, I think, 14 or 15 years. You can catch on your favorite podcasting catcher, whatever you guys listen to. It's there. I think we're even in BitTorrent when we're live. We do a chat room at nobetterhiphop.com.
All right, so everybody out there watching, have you heard Below the Heavens? Are you still bumping it to this day? We're gonna keep talking about albums until we run out. Until then, we are two guys on the internet that don't know everything. Peace.
Peace.